CapCan Knows, the official podcast of the Capital Area College Access Network. We are excited to engage the community in conversation about college access. Today, our host is Jonathan Rosewood, CapCan's College Access and Engagement Associate, and our guest, Dauan Henley, a Lansing Community College graduate and a current MSU student.
So listen, bro. Welcome to have you here. We begin all our podcasts with usually the people that come on just introducing themselves and telling their stories of, who encouraged them to continue their education after high school and like what keeps you going.
I would say, without a doubt, my dad. He was definitely the person that really like drilled college into me. He played one of the major roles in me choosing to go into engineering. Like my dad he worked in manufacturing. He was a robot technician. So anytime like the robot would go down the line, he would be the one to fix it up. But he had some trials and tribulations in life, and he didn't go to school like college. So he actually dropped out of high school and ended up getting his GED and eventually went into manufacturing. And he kind of had his run-ins with the law and stuff like that. So he had to really work to get where he was at. And he really drilled into me, like to stay on the right path, stay, don't get in trouble. Don't get at least legal trouble.
Oh, I dig that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he really like pushed me like to go to school. Like if I had $1 for every time he told me, I'd probably be rich. So
you are rich, bro.
right. So he was really the one that really pushed me to go pursue like a higher education. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
As far as engineering, and the reason why I ended up choosing that was because so just kind of going back, like when I was a kid, I would kind of, I was a big gamer, right?
Yeah.
And
what types of games?
Everything, bro.
Okay.
Anything that came out, I was trying to play. But the biggest things would probably say like my dad, like I would kind of go and because he would tell me about the engineers at the job and stuff like that. Yeah, like you're really, because I would be really patient when it comes to fixing stuff, like solving things. And he noticed that. And he would be like, you should really think about going to like computer science or like engineering or something like that. He would tell me that, but I'd be like, I would see like the developers of the game, right? Like I would look at the because like most games they show like the process of when you're making the game, right?
Yeah.
And they have developers, and it will always be like a geeky white guy with glasses, like I'd be like, that's
not me, right?
Yeah, that's not me, right? And I kind of like, that doesn't look like my speed. It doesn't look like me. And so that was like how it started. And eventually like through COVID is really when I decided I wanted to go into engineering, because I kind of just, he would tell me about it. I was like, man, let me look into this. Like, let me look. He would tell me like almost my whole life, like, let me go and look into this. And I looked into it, and I seen like all the opportunities and stuff like that was into it. And I seen like all of the cool stuff you can do in engineering.
Yeah. And
I wanted to choose something because it was like that or finance. And finance is interesting, but at times it could be repetitive to me. And with engineering, is always something new. It's versatile. I can go into many different things with it. So that's why I ended up choosing like engineering for sure.
That's amazing. What a story, bro. Shout out to your pops, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you for sharing that story, because it's good to hear like your dad was so influential in your life, and we're gonna get to that a little later, because I feel like I've known you for a while, and I got to see some things that like transpired in your life, and we're gonna come back to that. But like, where are you from?
Detroit.
Yes. Detroit. So talk to me about Detroit, and wait, how you get here?
So it was crazy how it all worked out. So senior year, before I wanted to be an engineer and all this other stuff, I wanted to go play in the National Football League. I was a football person. That's like what I poured my entire like life into that. Like I would work out 5 or 6 times a week, sometimes multiple times a day. I was way more cut than I am now.
Yeah. That's
so.
Okay.
That was like my biggest thing. And then we had a 4-way scrimmage like the beginning of my senior year, and I ended up tearing my a major ligament in my shoulder. And I was still trying to play through the season. Like I went to the doctor, I was like, you can still play, but if it pops out again, it's over. That's over with. You gotta get surgery.
Okay.
So I probably like 4th or 5th game of the season, shoulder popped out again. This big running back came down. I hit him. It popped right out. It happens the exact same way twice. God. So that was like the end of like the high school thing, and I was kind of on the fence whether or not I wanted to. And I was kind of like lost at that point, because I was like, dang, like I really want to play college ball, but it doesn't look like it's going that way.
Yeah.
It was actually two long-time friends. Like one of them I know since 4th grade, another one I know since 9th grade.
Okay.
They ended up some way they ended up going to the same high school.
Yeah.
And they found out they both knew me. So they called me on three-way one day.
Three-way.
I'm like, who's this? And I'm like, oh, bro, what's up? Like, you know, we chopping it up or whatever.
Yeah.
And they said, bro, come to LCC with us, bro. Like, come to LCC with us.
Come on now.
I said, because I'm like, because at the time I didn't know where I wanted. In fact, I didn't even want to go to Michigan State. That's just crazy. I didn't even want to go to Michigan State.
You ain't want to be green and white, bro?
No, I didn't.
See, I'm so happy you came. Well,
yeah.
Where did you want to go?
I wanted to go to Tennessee State originally.
Okay, HBCU for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Tennessee State, but HBCUs didn't want to see me. That tuition bill was high.
Was it high?
It was very high.
Okay, so scholarships are important then.
Very important.
All right, we get to that later. Go ahead.
Yeah. So,
dang.
we'll definitely get to that later because I got some interesting to say about that too.
Okay.
So, and so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was getting like my what do you call that? That we get what's it called? Award letter. I was getting my award letters like in the mail and stuff. And I didn't see like any. I wasn't really getting a lot of grants and scholarships stuff. So I'm like, man, like I don't really want to go and like take on this level of debt, and I don't even know what I really wanted to do in school for real. So and then they were like the ones that brought up the idea, like, go to community college. But I'm like, I don't want to stay in Detroit because I could have got the Detroit Promise.
Correct. So that would have sent you to what, Wayne County,
Wayne County, or OCC.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I don't want to stay in the city because so I ended up going. So I'm like, okay. My mom was like, go to community college. You're not getting no scholarship. I'm like, you know what? How can I knock all birds with one stone? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to LCC.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting an apartment with them too, and then we had another friend that ended up going out there with us, but he was in a different apartment.
Okay.
After the first year, I was the only one still in school.
Whoa. 1 out of 4.
1 out of 4.
1 out of 4.
Everybody dropped out except me.
You know, it's crazy, bro. When I went to MSU, my teacher was like, look to the left, look to the right, say bye, say hello. They might not be here tomorrow or in January, right? So that's crazy. And it actually happened. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I ended up choosing, Lansing Community College. Right? So, yeah, I was able to figure out what I wanted to do there for, cheap.
Yes.
It was probably like $20,000-$30,000 less.
Yeah.
To figure out what I want to do at MSU.
How did that help you, bro? Like, just you said you was able to learn what you wanted for cheap. Like, how do you feel like that kind of helped guide you in the way that you wanted to go?
So at Lansing, I feel like honestly, like at Lansing Community College, like it's more of community there. Like it's smaller, so you feel more of that community. Like I would see a lot of the same people, which can be good for some people, bad for some people. For me, at that point in my life, that was very important for me. That's how I was able to meet people like you, Kid. How I was able to meet like all these people, Mr. Smith. Like I was able to meet all these people. Like
Nor, shout out.
Yeah. So how I was able to like meet these people and make all these connections. That was like, I think that's really was the biggest thing that I really took from LCC, for sure. Like it was, I felt like it was, I felt the community there. Like it was a very strong community there at LCC.
And that's very helpful, bro. I'm happy you pointed that out. That was going to be one of the questions. Like, what kept you at LCC? What helps you like maneuver and then transition through there? Like I know this when I went to school too, bro. I needed to be around a community, somebody that was going to motivate me, have a good time with, hold me accountable too. Like when I was on my stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, what were some things at LCC that got you into the community, ready to go? Like, I'm about to graduate.
I would say first things first, I had to take the initiative to go out there and meet people. That was the first thing, because when I first, I mean, like when you come from the city, like it's not normal to like just walk up and talk to people.
No, it's not, man. Not from the city.
No, it's that's very taboo. You don't do that. You don't do that, right?
Yeah.
So it took me really like a year to get out of that. Like, and I felt like, I wouldn't say it was imposter syndrome at the time. I did experience that, but it was a little bit LCC, but it was much, much more at MSU.
Okay.
But I really felt like it was, I would say, how do I explain this? Like it was definitely like a challenge, I would say.
Yeah.
Adjusting from LCC to MSU, but myself out there. And the second was like, once I put myself out there, I needed people that actually supported and believed in my abilities.
Yeah.
Being you, being Mr. Smith, right? Like Mr. Smith was the first one, probably one of the first people in my life, besides my own dad, to really push me academically. Like to to take the time out to say, hey, I want you to be the first tutor on the Math Noir project, right? That's like a big thing. Like,
what is Math Noir?
So Math Noir is it's a program started by Mr. Smith at Lansing Community College, and it's essentially to help minority students with mathematics. But the whole purpose of it is that the students teach the students. And that's the whole purpose of it. And you know, at the time, it's all about representation at the end of the day, really, because at the time there were no other Black math tutors in the department. I was the only one. When I was hired on, I was the only one that was a student, that is. Only Black math tutors that was a student, to be specific. Everyone else did not look like us at all.
So representation wasn't there.
Representation was not there.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were trying to bring that representation in. They realized that was an issue, and they were trying to, you know, change that, which is why Math Noir was able to come in and like make that happen. Because there was another person, I don't know if you remember Ron will go million.
I think
so.
The
glasses.
Yeah.
He got MSU too.
Yeah.
I think he's getting his degree in physics. Yeah.
Tell your brothers smart, man.
That guy's smart.
Yeah.
That guy's he the reason why I passed calc and physics. But
so connecting with others is a part of the game plan. And I love that you said that, bro, because when I'm working with the high schoolers and middle schoolers now, I'm literally telling them, like, you're not gonna get through college alone. Like, you got to be able to connect with somebody. You got to step outside your comfort zone and just be able to be like, hey, my name is Susie. My name is John. You know, and just put yourself out there. Everybody not gonna like you, man, but it ain't about that. It's about connecting with people that is like-minded or smarter, getting that knowledge, right? And then being able to move on, man. So that's pretty good keys. I'm telling you, you can write a book, bro. Let's keep going, man. Sure. So, man, I remember I met you. It was a program, Men About Progress.
Yeah.
At LCC, and man, this brother got it. Like, he was really in tune with what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go, structured. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I wish all my students was like that. But like, now that I know, like, you had your dad in your life to be able to like help you through that. Let's get to that. Like, when was and we're gonna talk about like a challenging time, because I talk to my students all the time right now and just talk about like things happen in our lives that we're not always ready for. And either you're gonna fold or you're gonna get stronger from it. What's maybe like one of the biggest challenges that you had throughout your educational journey to help you be like, you know, I'm a better Juan because of this?
I would say like the biggest obstacle I faced in my journey was definitely when my father passed away in 2020. That was definitely like the hardest. That was the hardest thing, because that like I still had support. Like, this is why a support staff was so important, because by that time I knew you, I knew Mr. Smith, I knew Kid, I knew people around me, you know, that was supportive of me. Some people I didn't even know were as supportive of me until that moment came.
Yeah.
It was definitely that. Like, at that point, it was just like it was more than just beyond school, obviously, right? But it was just like I had to really sit back and really evaluate myself. And then I would consider this all at one situation, because 3 months after that, I found out I was having, a baby, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like it was like a kind of a domino effect, and it was just an aspect of like, it was one thing after another. But I had to understand that this is all of the part of the process, and that if I really want to get to where I want to be, there's some obstacles and hardships happen. That was definitely the situation where I had to sit back and like really evaluate myself. Like, do I really want to continue to? Because I had every excuse to just say, no, I'm not gonna. I want to go do something else. I don't got time to keep doing this. I got other more important things to do, right? That if I really wanted to go to school and get this degree and be an engineer, right? And like because I remember like I really contemplated driving out like multiple times, and I would always kind of like, because I was like, it can be other ways to make money, and but it was like my dad was like very adamant about me getting this degree, right? And I really didn't fully understand it until now. I was like, oh, I know why he said that. It was but at the time I really just had to sit back and just like do it in honor of my father. Like, that's really what it boiled down. So I did it in honor of him. And now I see more of the purpose now, but at the time I just had to sit back and really just be able to like honor my loved ones, because my family, they helped me, they helped me like maybe not so much financially, but in terms of like throughout my childhood, they taught me so much, and that one of the biggest things that like my older brother, my dad, you know, was to never give up on stuff. Like always push through, always perseverance, because it's never gonna be easy. In fact, like when I talk to, because one of the things that for me being a part of National Society of Black Engineers, we do a lot of like high school and middle school stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
definitely.
first of all, what's National
Society of Black Engineers?
What's that?
So it's well, I know it says national, but it's like international organization of like a network of Black engineers, right?
Yeah.
And it's like middle school, high school, college. College is the biggest sector of it,
Yeah.
and then it's like the professional side of it, right?
Okay.
So I'm like in the collegiate side. So I'm the treasurer for the Michigan State chapter.
Okay.
So
leadership.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so like when I'm in that, like one of the biggest things I learned is that like anything in life that's worth having is going to be difficult.
Yes.
Like you shouldn't pick things based off how hard or easy you think they're going to be. And that's one of the things that I always tell, like, because a lot of like, oh, I don't know if I would be an engineer. It's hard. I'm like, man, look, anything in life that's worth having is going to be hard.
I heard that yesterday. Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
So I had to understand. So like once, that's really what it boiled down to. Just like I know understanding what it will take to get to where I want to be.
Yeah. So you talked about that NSB, and that was gonna be the next question. So like, you graduated from LCC, right? Dad's gone. You just said I had a little one on the way. You graduate, that's honor, right? You're dead. Now you get to MSU, right? Talk to me a little bit about that transition from LCC to MSU, and then but maybe how it led you to what NSB, right? Right. It led you. So talk to me a little bit about that transition.
Okay, so when I first actually got to MSU, I was actually online during COVID. But when I actually started going. I actually took a semester off as well. So I took a semester off because, like I told you, I was contemplating dropping out. So fall 22 is when I officially started going back to school full time at Michigan State in person, right? It was like the support there was horrible, like for a Black engineering student. So Michigan State obviously is PWI, predominantly white institution, right? And so engineering, right? It's like the whitest, it's like it's not a lot of representation, period, in engineering, right? Yeah. And when you're going to a PWI for a predominantly white discipline, you really I was constantly probably one of the only Black people in my classes. Yeah. Probably the only one, right? And I didn't expect it because the LCC is a lot more diversity at LCC in terms of like people that it's diverse at MSU, but like there's more like people where I'm from at LCC, so to speak.
I feel it.
Yeah. So yeah, like going in, like I kind of felt like imposter syndrome. This is what I was talking about. Like this is when I really felt imposter syndrome. I'm like, man, like that was like, because I never really, I say like this, I never was a big like an academic weapon, so to speak. I was never like, oh, I got a 4 point everything until like really till like my past class for real, right? And then when I got here, I'm like, dang, like these classes are harder, like, and you start to realize. But one thing I noticed, because I always try to like look at the situation around me, is like, man, like, but the people that perform the best in the class, like they hang around each other, So I'm like, man, I gotta pretty much start over again. Cause like I had to pretty much start over. Yeah. Like I'm like, dang, I gotta rebuild my support staff. Cause you really gotta do it. Like no one, like unless you have, is when you're a first generation college student, you have to build your support staff. There's no one there that can say, hey, you go to this person, to this person, to this person. I didn't have that. Right. My mom and my dad didn't go to college. So they don't understand like that's what you have to do when you get to any school, period. You have to build your support staff. You do. And I knew of NSB, but I wasn't like involved in it yet. Yeah. So that was like my goal was when I got back to campus to get involved. I started getting more involved in NSB, and then from there, actually, let me take that back. I actually started going back to MSU in the spring of 22. That's when I started going full time in fall of 22. So when spring 22 is when I first started to realize these things. I'm like, man, like I was kind of struggling. That's when I took programming. I took an introduction to Python.
Python, that sounds difficult.
It's a programming language. Yeah, that's like it's like a weed out class. It's like one of the weed out classes for like computer engineering, computer science at MSU. Okay. And it is not easy, and it was not fun at all for me. Yeah. And that was when I was like, man, like I felt empowered because at LCC was much easier for me to talk to people. because a lot of times they would look like me, or like I would be more familiar with, you know, with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or we have mutual friends because it was smaller. But at MSU, I didn't know nobody for real.
Right.
You know, then that was a semester that like all my friends that I went to high school with graduated.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang. So I had to, so what led me to NSB at that point was like, okay, I need to build a support staff for real. Like I have to go and find people that have been through the similar experience that I have and be able to connect with people who are wiser and that could, you know, direct me to the right places that I should be going.
Yeah.
That's what let me start getting involved in NSB. Once I got involved in NSB, I met a lot of like other Black engineers in the college. That led me to other like diversity organizations as well besides NSB. And that's really what like got me more involved and stuff like that. That's really what it was.
That's pretty dope, man. That's similar to my experience, man. I started off as an agriculture major, and
interesting.
I know Rosewood agriculture, but in high school, man, they had MSU had a program called the Multicultural Apprenticeship Program. So they brought all of us up from the city, rural areas, or whatever, and they introduced us to agriculture work. And so I was like, "Bet I'm gonna do it." I got there. Freshman year, I was like, nah. But I found a network. They had an organization called Manor, similar to NSB. It's a national org. And I found myself getting connected. And then that led me to Alpha, right? The frat. And then, you know, the frat just took it off, just everything. So I definitely understand, like, you got to be a part of something and build a community, find somebody to be able to talk to. And not to say that you don't connect with others, because you do.
Exactly.
You have to. Like, college is definitely one of them areas. Like, you're gonna build you a network. Exactly. If you don't build your network, you're gonna burn and crash, right?
Exactly.
So that's why, man, I remember when he was like, man, I'm going to MSU. I was like, you know what? Who do I know that's in MSU and engineering? I was like, Theo.
Yeah.
Theo Caldwell. And I was like, but I met him through that agriculture program.
Oh,
that's how I met Theo when I was in high school, because he was running a program for high school youth. I forgot the name of the program. Yeah. He went. I think Theo went to.
Look at this.
Let me see. Where'd Theo go, bro? I think he went to. Did he go to Cody? I don't know where he went.
Oh, if he went to Cody, I talked to him because that's where my dad went, my mom went.
For real?
My uncle went.
That's where Anton went, bro.
Anton went to Cody?
Bro, yes. Telling you connections, right? So it's like, I love what you're doing, man. Just taking it to another level, getting involved, leadership. Did you live on campus or did you do off campus?
So yeah, that was one thing about me transferring. I never lived on campus.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have got this.
Yeah, bro, that was amazing. Oh, that was the best experience ever, man. Yeah, but you got your own journey, right? And I think that one thing for you, me watching you, bro, grow, I'm like, dude, look at this dude. Like, he killing it. He killing it. So while you were in school, did you only do school and participate in on-campus stuff, or did you have an opportunity to like step outside of campus and actually use what you were learning in school? Maybe at a different workplace or something. Like, what's up?
So LBW, that was the opportunity I really started applying some of the things that I learned. Ironically, it was actually stuff from LCC.
Okay.
So my first role at the Lansing Board of Water and Light, when I say LBW, that's what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Is that I was a project management office intern, but a big part of project management is data analytics. A big part of data analytics is statistics.
Okay.
That's what Mr. Smith teaches.
Exactly.
Right? So, and that's what I was a tutor for. So I was actually, I had to create a portfolio dashboard, which is essentially a portfolio is a project portfolio, so to speak, to be specific, is like a list of projects that a company or an individual could be working on, and then the dashboard would be like different representations of the data from those projects. So some would be like, this is how much the total cost of this project is, or out of all the projects, there would be like, I don't know, maybe a pie chart that has the total cost of each project in it and compares it to how much money you spent for the year, and you'll say, oh, project 5 spent the most money, for example.
Wow.
So that's something you would call like a key performance indicator, which is to evaluate the performance of something. So I created like some key performance indicators to determine whether or not, okay, like this project's on time, this project's not on time, this project is this percentage to be incomplete.
You did this when you was in LCC?
I did this using the
The tools.
Some of the tools that I learned
Yeah.
from LCC.
Mm-hmm.
And because at the time, like I hadn't gotten into my engineering classes yet.
Mm.
But I was actually but I actually was using like a lot of statistical like concepts
Yeah.
to be able to figure out how to generate these key performance indicators.
Okay.
So and I took stats at LCC.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's like was the first time I really started applying like knowledge that I learned from the classroom to the real world.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was actually as crazy as like I'm back at the Lansing Board of Water like right now doing a co-op, but for a different thing.
Okay.
And the dashboard that I created is actually being used by upper management to make the actual real life decisions.
What?
From what I've been told, yes. And then that was the plan from the jump.
Yeah.
But I actually got to meet the people that's like updating it and reevaluating and stuff. So like the person that I was working under that was kind of like guiding, that was kind of like teaching me like, okay, the concepts of data analytics and stuff like that. Some of the things that the upper management are looking for, how our project manager is going to be using it. Is her and another person. She was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, you know the portfolio dashboard you're working on? Yeah, we're the ones that made it. He's the intern that made it.
What?
I was like, what? I was like, whoa. Yeah, because at first I'm like, they even using it. Then I was thinking, I guess they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel, man?
It made me feel very accomplished. It made me feel like, okay, I was really seriously doubting myself because I remember like kind of really doubting myself during that. And, you know, not like in a physically speaking that I can't do it, but like, you know, you have thoughts of like when you're doing something difficult, you can have thoughts of maybe it's not going to work out the way that you want to or whatever. Because it was like my very first one. And ironically, I got the offer from BWL the day of my dad's birthday. The day of my dad's birthday, and I didn't think I got it. Like,
what a gift!
What a gift, right?
Wow.
And I remember thinking like, well, because there's previous summer I applied probably because a lot of people who was in college probably understand is like you apply for like 50 internships, you get denied for all of them sometimes, right? And I don't remember how many internships I applied for last summer, but it was probably at least 50.
Wow.
And I only ended up applying to a handful of them. I've only ended up applying to a handful of them.
Yeah.
And they said it was gonna hit me back in a couple weeks, let me know. I figured I got ghosted because it was like March. I'm like, you told me this in January, like it's March, right? Yeah. And I went to shower, got a shower, I look, I see like something from a 517 number that says, we would like to offer you a position. I was running around the house like I won a Super Bowl. I was like, whoa. I was like, because I was feeling down, because it was my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess I'll just take some summer classes, right?
Yeah.
And then sure enough, I got the offer. And then one thing led to another. I got the co-op position there. Then in the fall, I got because I got offers from more than just Nissan as well. And when I started doing internships in the fall.
Oh, you did Nissan as well.
So I did Nissan that following summer.
Wow.
This past summer.
Wow.
And I was able to get the co-ops from BWL because of my performance in the internship.
Yeah.
And then when I was at when I got back to MSU that fall, I had the career fairs really hard. Like I probably went to almost everyone except for one or two.
Okay.
And I ended up getting an offer for internship from GM, another automotive supplier called Next Year. And then I got an offer from Toyota. And I believe I almost got an offer from GE Aerospace, but that one fell through. But I had probably like 4 offers.
Wow. So you could have, so you got to choose where you wanted to go.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Went from barely being able to get one to choosing where I want to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, gotta be making moves, bro.
Yes, sir.
So talk to me. So talk to me a little bit, because I know some people like to take the summer off. That's one thing that I did not do when I was in high school. I didn't take the summer off. I was at MSU. When I went to college, I didn't take the summer off. Talk to me a little bit about that. Just staying active and busy, not only in the fall and the spring with your classes, but in the summer as well.
So one thing I always, because part of being a part of NSB is like a lot of freshmen that kind of come to you and they're looking for advice on what to do, because it's hard getting that. I don't know how it is in other majors, but in engineering, it's hard getting an internship as a freshman.
It's hard, period.
It's hard, very hard to get an internship, right?
Period.
Because you had a big part of the reason why engineering is because you hadn't taken any of your classes yet, and you typically don't have. They know most of us don't have the knowledge they're looking for starting out, but for freshmen, it's like you haven't taken any of your classes, so you don't know anything, right?
Yes.
So I always try to tell them do something, get an experience somewhere. Like if you're at university, do research. Like if you're interested in going into, I don't know, electric vehicles, reach out to some faculty members and ask them, do they have any open positions available on the research team for the summer? If you got to go back, to your hometown, see if there's any local local entities that are, you know, possibly doing some sort of science projects or some
Yeah.
sort of engineering projects. So
Yeah.
like speaking of sort of engineering, or if you're a community service, get involved in the community, go to a local community center, go to a local homeless shelter and volunteer there to see if you can help and facilitate some things. Like do something, make sure you're doing something that's building your resume and building that experience. As well as like, if you want to take classes, that's great too. But for me, it's like, I look at it as summer is more so for you to build your experiences. Like you take classes if you don't have the option for those experiences,
Right.
or do both.
Right.
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 At least take classes. But if you're not going to take classes, do something, gain some sort of experience.
Yeah.
Some valuable experience that's contributing to your field that you want to go into.
Right.
Right. Like, so.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Just take advantage of opportunities.
Exactly.
Take advantage of opportunities, meet people, man, and just apply what you've learned in the classroom to what you're doing.
Exactly.
And then they have big projects. Now they running your program.
Exactly.
That's pretty dope, bro. So you about to graduate, man.
Yes.
Let's go. Michigan State.
Yes, yes.
Long time coming, man. I'm so proud of you on
Thank
that,
you.
bro.
Thank you.
I've been watching, and it's really cool to be able to see that. So what's some plans for after graduation?
So the plan right now, so how Nissan does it is that you choose the position based off of what they have available.
Oh, you got to go work with Nissan.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yes,
Work.
yes,
Well,
yes. So
Altima.
yes, yes. So how Nissan does it is like you choose like a couple months before graduation, whatever. And it's based off the availability that I have. So there's two like teams that I'm looking at right now where I'm going to join.
Okay.
One of them is for the battery scene for the electric vehicles.
Yeah.
That's gonna work. But the cool thing about that is that it will require some travel to Japan. I don't know how long or how often I'll be doing it.
Okay.
That's something to consider. And then the other one is to do with the research and development of electric vehicles. So I'll get to see like all the latest different vehicles and kind of get to learn some of the newest concepts that they're trying to bring into the new generation of electric vehicles as well.
Wow.
So that's really what I'm really aiming toward. But that's like kind of with the two things that I'm like doing right now. So I'm going to be meeting with the teams soon and kind of talking over with them, kind of seeing some of the opportunities they have available. Yeah. So that's the plan right now.
Wow, man. I'm just thinking about when you just opened up and you talked about your dad and how he was talking about, man, look into the robotics and how you said that's what he was doing. And now look what you're doing. You are actually working with cars and automobiles and engineering. And the robots are coming because they got to put the cars together, right? And
oh, yeah. So like, actually, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I have a cousin. He did not actually go to school for engineering.
Okay.
So he actually started off working in manufacturing. He actually was a robot technician at one point. He did maintenance, like robot maintenance, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of like how my dad did. And then he eventually became a robotics engineer.
What?
Through experience.
Wow.
He was learned on the job. Yeah.
See?
And me and him had two completely untraditional paths. But he's going to school right now to get his undergrad degree because he wants more flexibility and stuff. But it's like, yeah. But that's a close cousin I was close with too. Yeah. And that's kind of interesting how we both ended up going like, because we first started off in things that had nothing to do with engineering. Like when I first came to college, I was a nursing major.
Well,
he was, you know what he did? Social work.
Social work?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nursing, social work.
And then we both ended up engineering somehow. And
that's good that you say that, man, because I think when people go to school, they think they gotta stick to one thing, right?
I've changed plenty of times.
And what's that? You what?
I've changed quite a few times.
I changed 3 times.
Yeah, I've changed about 3 or 4.
Yeah. Like you're 18 years old, 19, you know, especially when you go in, like, I mean, some people know. Exactly. Some people know, like LeBron knew he was going to the league, right? Yeah. You know, but he was dominant in what he did. You know, Venus and Serena, they knew they was going to tennis. Yeah. But like when you go to school, it's kind of like you figuring it out, man. Unless you've been doing it for a long time. But
exactly,
you know, when you go to school, you just trying to figure out yourself, how you act. You're away from your parents. That was love right there. I appreciate that. You're away from your parents, you know, and like that major that you think you but it's like man, you go to college and like some people go to college and say, oh, I want to make a lot of money, but that's not necessarily the way that they want to learn or the major that they want to go into. So they like they tripping, they stressing. So it's kind of like you kind of find yourself, and it's okay to do that.
That's true.
You know, and I love when you said the community college way, because that's a cheap way to like kind of figure some stuff out.
You don't know,
Man.
if you don't have a good idea what you want to do, please go to community college.
Don't wait. Right, exactly,
Please.
man. So let's talk about a few more things, man. I want to know. I know you. So between work, internship, family, how did you find a balance? You know, and all the things that you have in your life. How did you find a balance, or if you found a balance yet?
That's something honestly that's something I'm still working on. I feel like it's gotten a lot better, but I found a balance, but it's not the balance that I'm looking for as of yet. I would say like really it's boiled down to time management more than anything else. Like I know that's what people say, but like when I first came to MSU, I didn't have like I've realized just how much busier I've gotten like since then.
Yeah.
So just getting more involved in SB and things like that, joining the executive board and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have a calendar now. Like before, like when I first came to college, I didn't even have no remote concept of time. Like I have like a whole Outlook calendar. I have a whole Outlook calendar.
Yes.
I have the same Outlook I have on my phone and on my laptop. And it has, because a part of me treasure I have to, meet with corporate partners and stuff like that that NSB has, and then kind of, talk, numbers with them sometimes and things of that nature. So it's like I put my professor's office hours in there. I put NSB related events in there. I put even this, this podcast in the calendar. I put that in
for sure.
And I organize everything by color.
Everything by color.
Yes.
Okay.
So I organize it like to the T, like everything that I include in there. And I put, if I'm really tentative, I put that I'm tentative on there.
Yeah.
Like I'm really using Outlook to its full potential right now.
There you go.
So I feel like this is the best balance that I've had so far in my collegiate career for sure.
Yeah.
But also just like taking time, like in terms of like the actual time thing itself, but in terms of like mental, is that like I always take time to reflect on things. Nice. So like even like okay, I know I'm like I have like exams, I have projects, I have all these things I have to balance, right? But I always take time to sit back and reflect like, okay, like I remember at one point I was here, but now I'm here.
Yes.
I've been able to do this for this person today. I've been able to do this for these people.
Yeah.
I've been able to, be a blessing to others. And just being able to sit back and reflect on the positive things and be able, that keeps me motivated. Okay, like keep going. Like, yeah, I might fail that exam. I might have.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's not nothing that I should turn myself down over or anything like that. So just being able to sit back and reflect on whether it's a success or a failure, but being able just to accept it. Okay, this is just what it is, but I'm still here. I'm still able to be a positive impact on others, like just to be able to reflect. And be able to be thankful, be able to be thankful to God for what He's blessed me with.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
much.
Absolutely.
So man, you just talked. You almost led right into my last question with you. Well, second from last, but since I left you working with my college kids, I've been working with middle schoolers, high schoolers, non-traditional students, older people, and like, what's maybe some advice that you would give them in general, like maybe in life, going through college, trying to go back to school or get a trade? Like, what's some advice that you would give them?
Put yourself out there. Step out of your comfort zone. I'll give you actually example that just happened recently. So one of I joined a program when I was at Michigan State. It's called this is an initiative started by the state of Michigan to retain EV talent. Pretty much people are interested in going into electric vehicles, so they're looking for like data science, electrical engineers, computer engineers, computer science, stuff like that, right?
Yes, sir.
And so they picked 3 schools to start this initiative at. It was U of M, Michigan State, and Michigan Tech.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I ended up joining the first one at Michigan State, and we had a signing day when we chose like pretty much like a signing. Athletes have signing day.
Oh yeah.
That's what we did.
Okay.
And so we did a signing day, saying which company we're going to go to. And so from there, it was an opportunity. So what we didn't know at the time was that so once the state of Michigan found out we were having a signing day, they all came to the state campus. They all came to Michigan State campus, to the engineering building. And I got the opportunity to speak on the news, right? So I said, you know what? I've never been on TV before, but I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Yes.
So I went and I spoke to the news and stuff like that. And guess who saw me on the news?
Cool.
The HR manager in Eastside.
Oh, let's go. From our news here.
Yes,
Yes.
he saw me in the paper.
Come on.
And so like when I came to Nissan, the HR people already knew who I was.
Come on.
And so that led to, I believe that played some sort of role because they already had knowledge of it and they seen how with the program, how the program helped me. It helped me make a lot of connections too. How that helped me was, and then it led to the HR manager, right? Because he was like, because this is how, so I'm like, how does he know what school I went to already? Because when I first met him, he was like, Michigan State, right? I was like, what? I'm like, he is HR, but I'm like, I'm just accepting the file. And then I'm like, and then comes to find out, he was telling me like, yeah, I seen you in the paper for the signing day or whatever. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
And this was before Nissan joined the program. But now Nissan is in the program now.
Come on now.
Yeah, and so what that led to, so now the people, because I actually know 2 people that's actually going to Nissan now, and now because you have to work at certain companies to get the scholarship, because it comes with a scholarship, right?
Yeah.
So you have to work at certain companies to get the scholarship. So now it's like I was able to help build that bridge between the companies to now people can go and they can get, a scholarship for going, to work at Nissan, right? And then I'm gonna get, some incentives too, because now, so it led to me making more money. And it led to me also helping bless people in the process.
Come on, man.
So I'm like, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Because it all started from, me putting myself out there, because you would have asked me in 2018, 2017, I was like, oh, I'm straight, I don't want to be on camera.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
But I've got out of that habit. I started really putting myself out there, stepping outside of my comfort zone. Because it wasn't nothing I was used to. And it also led as well. Someone reached out to me on LinkedIn because I did the signing or whatever.
Okay.
Someone from the state of Michigan. I actually did it's like a paid promotion.
Yeah.
And they paid me and everything.
What?
Yes.
Come on, bro. You getting multiple incomes out here?
Yes.
Come on, you better get your multiple income
They
streams.
paid me. I said,
let's go.
I said, they paid me. They said like pretty much I just had to go, and I went down to Grand Rapids. We did it was pretty much like a commercial.
Yeah.
And it was a couple other people. And we kind of just was like pretty much like a promotional campaign to help recruit people and tell them why they should come and work in Michigan and stuff.
Wow. That's why the diamonds is flossing, huh?
Oh, yeah, but it's like, bro. So it's like, but that all started from that one step of me deciding that I wanted to, put myself out there. I've been able to not only do that, I took photos with the dean. Joining the EV Scholars led to me meeting the dean over the summer. Meeting CEOs from multi-million-dollar companies and stuff, like, because I put myself out there. I just said, you know what? What's the worst gonna happen?
Right.
What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
I ain't gonna die.
You're not gonna die. Not on this one. Man, bro, that's amazing. So by you being able to step outside your comfort zone, you were able to open up doors for others.
Exactly.
Bring people in to the company, gain experience, put some money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Which is a blessing.
Absolutely.
Bro, and living out the vision that your dad set for you.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's amazing, man. And I look at that because my dad, we celebrated 7 years of his passing this past Sunday, and I was working with my young men, like just working with them, listening to them, hearing their stories. And I just bust out in tears, bro. Cause it was like, it was sadness, but it was more so like, bro, Rosewood, you really living out the vision that your dad and your mom set out for you.
Priceless.
And it's like, man, you're a parent. So it's like, now it's our turn to be able to see the vision and write the vision for our kids. So therefore, they can be doing the same thing and having conversations like this and opening up those doors, not only for others, but our own, and that's amazing, Juan. Good job, bro. Let's go. Look at you. And then you just put yourself out here for CapCan today too,
Yeah.
So listen, I appreciate you for real. Because man, really trying to work with young people and all people in this community. And I know everybody has something that they got going on in their life. Everybody got something, right? I don't know one perfect person.
Right. True.
Right. But just to hear your story, bro, to see a young man from the city of Detroit, baby, you feel me, to come up and to be able to dominate and be articulate smart, not afraid, handsome, ready to do all these good things, and then putting on for his own. It's like amazing. So it seems like we coming to an end. Oh, it seems like we coming to an end of this interview. I got one last question for you, bro.
Yes.
All right. And we ask everybody that we interview this. So this is gonna be your thing. Hashtag CapCan knows. All right. So can you state your name and what you know?
Dauan, I know that God is good.
All the time, bro.
Yes.
All the time. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, and giving back to the community, bro.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to watching this touch so many people's lives and hearing their testimony from you opening up the door, bro.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Love you, man.
Yeah.
All
Love you
right.
too, man.
Let's go.
It's always been a pleasure speaking with you, man.
Yes, sir, bro.
For more information on CapCan, please be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. The links will be in the video description below, or visit our website at capcan.org. Thank you all for listening to us today, and we will see you again soon.